When it comes to Valguero, caves play a big role in surviving on servers, so we proudly present Top 8 All-Time Best Caves on Valguero. This video is sponsored by My Servers Deluxe. Deluxe is a 3x server with 5x featuring and 3x experience. Deluxe has 6-man tribes, ORP, new player protection, raid warning, and so much more. Here at Deluxe, we ensure that you have an amazing experience with lag-free servers. Servers are now live, link in the description. Coming at number 8, this can be found at 77.2 latitude and 70.7 longitude, and then here it is on the map. Now this one can be found over in the bottom right hand corner of the map. Now this cave is one of the smaller ones, so if you are a solo or a duo looking to stay hidden, this makes for a nice little starter cave. However, I highly recommend that you do not live in here permanently, as it's not really the best cave. So as you can see, it has a pretty good sized entrance, and then whenever you walk in here, it kind of gets a little bit smaller, but it opens up into this nice, decently sized cave. Now all this stuff in here is all just like salt, and there's not a ton of room to build in here, but you can easily build 2 layers, and easily fit a lot of starter items in here without any issues. Coming at number 7, this can be found at 47.6 latitude and 75.8 longitude, and then here it is on the map. And this can be found over at the right hand corner of the map, and this one can be found at Green Owl. Now this cave is pretty well known and a lot of players know about it, however it really does make for a good kind of like base spot. The only issue with this is that there is a bunch of water in here, which basically means that water raiding with rafts is very easy to do in here. But as long as you know how to build it right and you can stop all the rafts from getting in, you're pretty much set. Now there is some cave damage in here, but it's not like insane, unlike the other caves on this list, so it makes for a pretty nice base, or even if you're on PvE, it also makes for a good spot. Coming at number 6, this can be found at 34.1 latitude and 9.2 longitude, and then here it is on the map. Now this one can be found over in the left corner of the map, and this cave has a good amount of entrances. So this is known as the Cliff Cave, and the Cliff Cave is basically consists of like 3 different waterfalls, but actually 4 technically if you see the one kind of hidden in there. But anyways, the main entrance area is really down here, and this is how you get in. Now there's going to be a little bit of a downside of this one because there's a lot of just different entrances, meaning that it's going to be pretty easy to raid this spot unless you can really just defend this right. On the good side, there is a ton of room in here. You have tons of room, tons of flat surfaces, you even have a water source back here in the corner. Nice little waterfalls, tons of metal, and you have a giant water pond in here which actually goes all the way underwater and kind of leads you into another cave, so that's a kind of a cool part of this one. But there is another entrance in there, so you gotta watch out for that too. But there's also another entrance up top, but if you find with all these entrances, it's gonna be a little bit difficult to build with, but it'll make for a really good spot. And then up here is your other area, but you can easily just smack down a nice little turret wall up there and don't have to worry about it. And coming at number 5, this can be found at 39.1 latitude and 89.2 longitude. And then here it is on the map. Now this one can be found over in the far right corner of the map, kind of towards the middle-ish. So this one is actually a pretty popular cave. So this one has 2 different entrances and is built on top of this hill over here, which actually has the castle on it. So you can see the castle from literally anywhere on the map, but it is right up there, you can barely see it. So here's the first entrance. This first entrance has 4 pillars on it, which is nice for base defense if you ever need to put a little wall there. It also stops big dinos from easily pushing in. But this one is just massive. You have tons of room, a pretty good amount of water area too. You even have a nice little waterfall in there. The only big downside is that there is a second entrance over here, so you're gonna have to figure out how to defend that. But if you can figure that out, because the 100 turret limit, it's actually just far enough. So if you can figure that out, it'll really make for a really nice base, and you have tons of room. Coming at number 4, this can be found at 34.7 latitude and 89.5 longitude, and then here it is on the map. Now this can be found over at the right hand corner of the map, and this is known as Blossom Cave. Blossom Cave has been pretty popular ever from the start, just because it's a really good base spot. So as you can see up here, it's kind of in the middle of this waterfall, which really makes it a hard raid because you can't really just walk anything in. Now inside you have a good amount of room, and you even have a nice little down area back here. So there's also metal and stuff in here, but it makes for a really good base for a smaller tribe starting out. Coming at number 3, this can be found at 46.7 latitude and 87.2 longitude. And then here it is on the map. And this one can also be found over at the far right hand corner of the map. Now this is known as Button Cave. Button Cave is definitely one of the most underrated spots on this map. So a lot of people really don't know about this cave, because like everybody knows that there's a cave here, but people really don't know how good that this cave is. So Button Cave is called Button Cave for one big reason, because you have to hit a button to go in it. So hitting the button opens up this giant door, and then when you come inside here, there's also a button inside that you can click to get like back out. So in that first room, you have a ton of room to easily fit a giant turret wall in there, which will really help for base defense, not to mention that that wall is going to constantly be falling, so it's going to really aggravate your raiders. Then inside you have two more backup rooms down here, and then down here you have to basically drop down into the water, and that's the main way in here. So for getting out, you have to do the same things. You have to basically climb back up, and yes, that's gonna suck, but it's just what you gotta do. Now anyways, over here, once you come down this path, which is over to the right whenever you first enter, you go down this long hallway. This is the main room. So over here, it's a bit of a kind of like a good go in here, so I kind of sped it up a little bit. But over in here, this is the main room. So you have a ton of water, you have a good amount of land, there's a decent amount of room, there's just a lot of ruins. You have to figure out how to build with those ruins. But you have a lot of room super far back. The only issue is there is cave damage. But if you're fine with that, it makes for honestly one of the best spots on this map. Coming at number 2, this can be found at 48.8 latitude and 19.7 longitude. And then here it is on the map. Now this is Oil Cave. Oil Cave is the most popular spot on this map and one of the most popular spots on this game, because everybody knows what Oil Cave is, and it is a very overpowered spot if you know how to build it right. So easily on the outside you can fit a massive turret tower and probably build a skeleton tower, which will make this place just insanely hard to raid. And then on the inside you have a nice little entrance that's almost like a crouch entrance, but not. On the inside you have tons of room. It's a bit of an awkward build in here, so you're gonna have to maybe build some cliff top rooms or build just different platforms just in general because of all the random stuff everywhere. But this thing is just overpowered because of the entrance style. Nobody can really get in, and then once you do get in, it is just such a hard raid. So it makes for a pretty good spot to live in. Coming in number 1, this can be found at 73.1 and 40.9 longitude. And then here it is on the map. Now this is known as Spider Cave. Spider Cave is by far the best cave on this map. Now, for one of the reasons, there is a literal broodmother that lives in here. So it kind of lives on the outskirts of the cave, but sometimes wanders inside. And it's not like impossible to kill, but it's not the easiest thing to also kill. So if you can figure out how to keep that from to keep spawning with your turret wall on the front, it'd be just insane. And then people would have to fight off the broodmother and then come at your base. So definitely be a lot of fun. But coming in here, you are greeted with this very, very long hallway that leads you into this first area. This first area really doesn't have a lot of room to build anything, so I wouldn't, but look for this kind of little pillar with two side little ramps. Once you're over there, go through here, then you have another big room here. Back here is the main room you want to go to, so just follow my exact pattern and then come over here on this little cliff thing, and then basically go down to the left. Down here you have a lot of room for like some dino breeding or just dino storage, really up to you. And then back in here is your main base. This main base is just massive, you have tons of room, it's pretty flat. The only issue is you need a gas mask to live in here, so if you're fine with that, it'll make for a pretty good base spot and a very unraidable spot. But anyways, that's it for today's video. We hope you guys enjoyed. Don't forget to leave a like if you're new and hit the subscribe button, and thanks for watching.